Hello there. My name is Scott Androff. As you can see behind me, I'm in my man cave and I'm here to explain to you a little bit about Leather Medic's Nonsense Odor Eliminator. I'm very familiar with the formulation because back in 1998 I was fortunate enough to stumble upon it and I made it, the first version, in my grandmother's kitchen sink. It wasn't by necessity. I had a very bad dog sitting episode where she was rehabbing her hip back then, and I had no option. Back in 1998, there was not even an odor eliminator category. There was room fresheners and air fresheners. So this formulation that you have in these bottles that are available to you, I am very, very familiar with. Before I get any deeper, and I excuse my attire, I don't wear suits and ties. I know odor elimination and I invent stuff. So this is what you see when you see me. Nothing fancy. But one thing I wanted to do before we start is I wanted to explain a little about the odor elimination category. As I mentioned, back in 1998, there was room fresheners and air fresheners. What I had to use to try to fix Maud's front yard, which was the living room, was this formulation called Carpet Fresh. If you're old enough, you'll remember that. It was a sprinkle-on formulation that you'd sprinkle onto the carpet. You'd let it sit there and dwell for 5-10 minutes, and then you'd vacuum it up. What I learned at that time that was that potpourri fragrance and urine is a terrible combination. So I had no other option. So let me explain the odor elimination category that has been launched. I was the first one out in the market back then, so I like to think I launched. I actually beat Febreze to the odor elimination segment by about 4 months. They killed me in advertising dollars, so I chose to go into the industrial market. But there's three formulations or principles about odor elimination. The most common one is the masking elements, and we see them all over the place. Those are the water-based formulas. Some of them are solvent-based, but they add a fragrance to the odor problem. They try to mask it or hide it, the odor. Now, the problem with these types of technologies, the masking elements, is that you cannot add a fragrance to a product or a formula without adding an oil. Let me repeat that. You cannot add a fragrance to a product without adding an oil. I don't care if they say it's all natural, it's all citrus, that's BS. It's still an oil. So what you're doing is you're spraying an oil film onto something, hoping that it's going to odor eliminate. And what normally transpires is after that oil has dried, guess what comes back? The odor. It gasses itself back up. So we have masking elements as the number one. The second most popular is enzyme technology. Now, I don't know if you've ever had your carpets cleaned at home and had someone come in and put an odor counteractant into the formulation and charge you a fortune, and then it smells like hell. That is an enzyme technology. Another common area for enzyme technologies is in the pet industry. And if you're in this industry and you know all the technology out there, you've heard of Nature's Miracle. They own the pet industry. They are in enzyme technology. In the final, and obviously I'm a little partial on this technology, it's the oxidizing formulation. And that's what you have here in your bottles. Nonsense is an oxidizing formula. Non-toxic, biodegradable, hyperallergenic, does not stain. You can spray it on any surface. It's even safe enough to drink. Now, oxidizing formulations are probably the best way to eliminate odors, and let me explain the principle behind oxidization. It's, in layman's terms, we alter the molecular structure of the odor and we rob the oxygen molecule away from the odor source. So, for instance, if you have a fire there and you cap the fire with a hood and you take the oxygen away from it, it eliminates. That's how oxidizers work. They encapsulate. And if you say encapsulation to your customer, you're going to completely, it's going to be over their head. So just tell them that we capture the oxygen molecule. And a beautiful point about this is it's a permanent kill. Unless you reintroduce the fragrance or the odor issue into this environment, it'll never return. So it's a one-time elimination. Now, the drawback on oxidizers is the fact that we need to come in contact with the odor. We need to find the odor. And that brings me to my next point that I wanted to share with you guys, and that's basically how to find an odor. Now, odors are always on a hard surface. They're carried in the air by oxygen, but if you're trying to find an odor, I can guarantee you it's going to be on the couch, it's going to be on the cushion, it's going to be in the carpet, it's going to be on the countertop. It always originates on a hard surface. Here's another interesting point too. Odors are normally liquid or vapor, smoke. I mean, most odors that you guys are going to run into are going to be liquid or it's going to be smoke odors. It's common. Those are the two major ones. It's going to be a liquid source or it's going to be a smoke issue. Now, what I wanted to explain about your formulation here is I told you that it's non-toxic, biodegradable, blah, 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 consumable. When you're using the formulation in the field and you're spraying, let's say in a car and you're spraying the headliner, you're going to get drift. It's going to drift down into your face, into your eyes. It doesn't matter. It's like getting sprayed by water. Just wipe it off. Now, another interesting thing on this formulation is the odors that it'll eliminate. Since 1998, I have found one odor that I cannot eliminate. Only one. And that is those damn Christmas tree ornaments that hang in cars. And it's only the pine oil. That pine scent I cannot oxidize. Something with the acidicness of the oil, that is the only thing I've ever found that I can't oxidize. And I'm really anal. I want 100%. I don't want to smell nothing. And that's another point that I don't think I stressed early enough. Your formulation is odorless. Since 1998, which is about 18 years, I believe, I cannot tell you the countless calls that I have received about the formula not working. And you know the reason why? Because they can't smell anything. I just want to strangle them. I always say, what did you just say? What was your odor source? I mean, it's hilarious. I just want to recap this a little bit. What I propose to do here for you is I would like to do it maybe once a month, maybe twice a month. Explain odor elimination, how to eliminate odors. In all seriousness, I have forgotten more about odor elimination than most people will ever know. So I'm glad to share my information and my technology and the knowledge that I have to make your job a little bit easier. One thing I'd like to share with you, I know you guys are into leather, which tells me that you're into upholstery, you're into foam pads. I don't know if you've ever had a couch or any cushion that has been urinated on. We have a customer visiting Angels, and we're really familiar with this application. But here's a tip for you. Now, if you ever have a piece of seating material, a couch or something like that, and it has, let's call it a cushion on a love seat, and you can smell urine. All right. Here's the ideal thing you can do is if you can zip it out, great. We can solve this thing very easily. And all you do is zip it out. You'd get the foam in front of you. You'd want to spray the nonsense on top of the fabric, brush the formula in, flip it inside out, spray the inside, brush the formula in. Whenever I hit anything fabric with the formula, I always suggest that we do a light brush and just get the formula into the fiber and just rub it in just a little bit. Now back to our cushion here. You treat the upholstery. Then on the foam, this is important. You'll be able to see the spot, and if you can't, get in there and smell it because you're going to find it. Now, when you find the spot, I want you to put enough of the nonsense formula on there that it's wet. So if you have to take the top off and pour it on there, whatever. But once you get that spot wet, the next point is really quite clever. What I want you to do is take the heel of your hand and you push down on that foam. Now you push down hard, and then I want you to slowly release the pressure. What we're doing here is we're wicking the formulation into the foam, into the depth of the same depth of the urine. Now, sometimes we have to pour a lot of formula in there, and you might have to use both hands to push down, but you need to push down hard and then slowly release it so it wicks itself in there. Once that's accomplished, let it dry, and generally speaking, if you guys have done carpets, you know carpets smell like hell when they're wet. So let this air out and dry. Once it's dry, if you smell it and you smell nothing, guess what? 100% done. You're not coming back and doing a redo on this job. So zip out, smell it. Now you're saying to me, what about if we don't have zipped out pads or cushions or whatever the hell they're called? I can solve that problem as well. What you want to do here is you need to go out and find a hypo needle, okay? Go out to your corner and talk to one of the guys in the corner and just get a hypo needle. All right, I'm going to pretend that this is my needle here, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the bottle. I am going to pull off one syringe, okay? So one syringe full of formulation of the nonsense is 4 treatments to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the spot where I know it's on the cushion. I'm going to take the needle, I'm going to push it into the foam, and I want to work across the pad, okay? We're going to work across, and then we're going to work down. So I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to inject a quarter of the syringe in, and then when I pull it out, I'm going to use the heel again. I'm pushing down on that spot. I'm slowly letting it release so I wick it. Then I'm moving over about 2 inches, 3 inches, same procedure. Push it into the foam, dispense about a quarter shot, and I don't care if you got a 3cc or a 6cc syringe, it matters not. The key is how much pressure you put. When I pull this needle out, I push down again, hard, slowly release it. Then I work over another 3 inches, and I'm working in a line across here, okay? Now, I'm going to go down 3 inches to the second line, and I'm going to split it. I'm not going to be at the edge, I'm going to be in. It's almost like a brick wall. You see a brick wall, you got an edge here, you got an edge here, and they're never together. So you want to split the different levels. That way when we press down, we're overlapping the top and the bottom, if you understand what I mean. I mean, simple trick. And again, after it has a chance to dry, this is important, folks. If you smell it and you smell nothing, we've accomplished it. Now here's an interesting point as well. You have a cushion or you have a couch and you just think it's a surface related. Let's say it's just a smoke issue, okay? It's someone that had smoked on a couch. Simple application. I'm going to grab the nonsense formulation. I'm going to spray it down. Rule of thumb, let's say you have a lazy boy chair, all right? That's going to require about maybe 18 triggers. 18 triggers on the whole chair. Front, back, side. You're going to spray it. Scratch the formulation in, let it have a chance to oxidize, and smoke is about 2 to 3 minutes. If you don't smell anything, you're done. But here's an important point. When you're doing furniture in a room, if you don't treat the air around it, you get a false read. So I'm working on a chair down here, and I'm scratching and everything, and I stand up and I'm going, I can still smell it. I didn't work it properly. That's BS. You did work it properly, but you didn't treat the air. So when you get done treating a surface, or if you're treating a urine spot or something in an environment, you need to stand up, you need to grab your bottle, and you need to hold it over your head, and you need to spray it towards the ceiling while you back away from the surface. We need the formula cascading from the ceiling down. Again, it's non-toxic. You can drink the formula. So if it drifts in your face, who cares? Wipe it off. It's not going to hurt you. That is a key element. Treat the surface, treat the air, otherwise you get a false read. All right? It's that simple. Okay, recap here. My name is Scott Androff. I have suggested that we try to do 1 or 2 odor elimination videos a month for you folks. I would love feedback. If you guys have an odor issue that you can't figure out, send the question in and I'll address it at one of these upcoming. Here's the beauty. What I know, I can teach you guys fairly quickly. But if you have an odor that you can't solve, just let us know. We'll tell you how to do it. We've been consulting with General Motors since 2001. I've done stuff with Visiting Angels, Delta Airlines. So this, you're going to have a hard time stumping me. The only problem I have is those damn little Christmas trees that are pine scented. And this is what you're going to get. I'm going to be in the man cave when I do this. I'm going to have this beautiful picture that we got from Jamaica behind me. That's terrible, but this is what it is. All right. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to showing you guys and teaching you guys what I know. Now let me find the off button here. All right, listen, goodbye, and thanks for the time.